Hey Block class students. Obviously this is kind of a not traditional thing for us to be going through right now. I just want to remind you that I'm testing this out as much as you are, and it's going to be difficult because this block class was set up to be in person for a reason, yet here we are. So always reach out to me if you have any questions, anything like that, and remember you can pause the video as we go and stop, take time to process stuff. It's at your own pace, really it is. So let's get started. Our first lesson is going to be on measures of central tendency. So a few definitions we have to go through before we start, and you're going to want to pause the video and write these down, is the mean, median, mode, outlier, quartile, and a box and whisker plot. So the mean is the sum of the data values divided by the number of data values. Median, the middle value in a data set. Mode, the most frequently occurring value or values in a data set. An outlier, a data value that is substantially different from other values in a data set. So let's just take a minute. You guys should remember doing this in elementary school, maybe middle school probably as well. So these 1, 2, 3, 4 definitions should be pretty common by now to you. It's when we get into the quartile and box and whisker plot. That's going to be new information, but it shouldn't be too difficult. So quartiles are values that separate a finite data set into 4 equal parts. The second quartile is the median of the data. The first and third quartiles are the medians of the lower half and the upper half of the data respectively. Lower half and upper half are just talking about the values lower than the median and the values higher than the median. Don't worry, we'll go through examples of how to do these. And finally, we have a box and whisker plot, which is a method of displaying data that uses quartiles to form the center box and the maximum and minimum values to form the whiskers. So take a moment, pause the video, get these all written down. You're going to want to use them because unfortunately we do still have to take tests to get through this class. So you can always use your notes, so these would be good to have. All right, so our first question is we have this set of 9 values. So you're going to want to write that down for your mean. Oopsies. We have 9. There we go, works now. 9 values, all right? And the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you need to write them in order from least to greatest. This is called numerical order. So we start and we go 62, 89, 90, 92, 95, 2 97s, 98, and 99. Okay? Take a second to pause the video, get these written down. As you can see, I already have this all written down. I made a key prior to us having to prep all of these lessons online. So that's how I quickly went through and numbered those values. Otherwise, typically it's easiest to cross off these ones as you go because you're not going to need them in this order anymore. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find the mean, otherwise known as the average. All right, so the mean, as you guys have been doing for many, many years, is just adding up all the values and then dividing by the total number of values. So I'll write this out for you guys. You go 62 plus 89 plus 90 plus 92 plus 95 plus 97 plus 97 plus 98 plus 99. And then we know there's 9 values, so then we divide by 9. And just in case you guys were missing me, as you can see, I'm still struggling with this whiteboard, so you can take some comfort in knowing some things never change. All right, so I did this ahead of time, and when you add all of these up and divide by 9, you get your mean to be 91. When you're entering this on the calculator, you have to be careful. Make sure you are adding all of your values together and then dividing by 9. If you just type in all of this and then divide by 9, it's going to take 99 divided by 9 and add it together, and you're going to get something way higher than what you want. Okay? The second thing we have to do is we have to find the median. Okay? The median is known as the middle value. So the easiest way to do this is I just like to cover up the ends. So we have 62 and 99 covered up. And then go in one more. And then one more, and we're left with just 95 in the middle. So that will be our median. It's the middle value of the data set. Okay? Next we have to do our mode. Mode sounds like the word most, and that's exactly what the mode is. Oops. The mode is the value that occurs the most. In this case, it's pretty easy to see 97 is the only one that occurs more than once. So our mode is 97. All right? And then our last thing we have to do is identify any outliers. Now I can tell you not every single set of data is going to have an outlier. For example, number 2, number 3, and number 4 do not have outliers. So when there's not an outlier, you just put none. Don't put 0 because 0 is a numerical value and that will be wrong. So the outlier here, as you can see, we have a lot of values in the 90s and 1 in the 80s. So it's safe to say that 62 is our outlier. All right, so the last few things we have to do in order to make a box and whisker plot is we have to be able to figure out our quartile 1, our quartile 3, and our minimum and maximum values. Let's start with minimum and maximum because we can figure those out really fast. Our minimum value is 62. And our max value is 99. All right? Just looked at the lowest point for minimum, the highest data value for maximum. Finally, we have to do our first and third quartile. These are important if you're going to make box and whisker plots. So I'm going to put quartile 1 and quartile 3. Okay, so looking at our data set again, we said 95 was our median. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cross out 95 so I know not to include it when I'm doing the quartiles. And then from there, we just do our crossing again. So we cross out 92, we cross out 62. Here we have 2 values. We don't have a middle value in our data set for that. So what we have to do is find the average of that. So we go back down to quartile 1, we do 89 plus 90 divided by 2 gives us 89.5. So that's our quartile 1. We're going to do the same thing for quartile 3. You're going to notice again that we have an even number of values here. We have 4. So we're going to have to find our middle value. So we cross out 99, 97. We're left with 97 and 98. So again, we find the average of that. So we go 97 plus 98 divided by 2 is equal to 97.5. All right, take a moment to pause the video, process everything we've done so far, maybe catch up. That's the perks of video recording. You guys can pause me at any time you want. You don't have to ask me to slow down. And we're going to move on how to make our box and whisker plots. They are so much easier than you think once you have all this information down. So we have to start with a number line. And we have to, what do you think we do? We number our number line. So this one only has 20 values, but I have to go from 62 all the way to 99, which for those of you whizzes in math, that is more than 20. So I'm going to go by 2's. So we have 62. And then we have, oh, let's see, what did I do here? 6, 7. So what I did, it looks like, is I put 62 here. And then since box and whisker plots are kind of a estimate of what the graph will look like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not grading you guys on how perfect you are. I kind of left a few spaces and then I went by 1. So I did 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, all the way to 99. Okay, this will still give us a rough estimate of what our box and whisker plot looks like. So then the next thing we have to do is we have to plot all the points that we just had. All right, so we found our median was 95, so that's our quartile 2. Our quartile 1 was 89.5, so that's going to be halfway between 89 and 90. Our quartile 3 was 97.5, so that's going to be halfway between 97 and 98. These are very skewed dots. They are not in a straight line. Okay, our highest value was 99, and our lowest was 62. So then what we do from there is we make our box and our whiskers. So our box goes from our quartile 1 to our quartile 3, and we do a line down the middle of quartile 2. All right, and then our whiskers just go from quartile 3 to the max value and quartile 2 to the minimum value. That is a box and whisker plot. Take a moment, process that, look at what you need to do. So you guys are going to have to do 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own. I think that it's going to be great practice for you doing statistics and data sets and all of that stuff. If you have any questions, of course, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. Let me know what's going on. And then when you're done with all of this, you're going to go to the Google Classroom and you're going to upload this to the assignment. And then I'm going to download all of them, grade them all, and you'll get a grade back. I don't know if I'm going to do it via email, Google Classroom. I'm still deciding on all of that. But just know that we're still here for you guys, and we miss you guys so much.